All right, welcome back to another episode of NOIZ.I Talks with Friends. Super excited today because we are in a different destination. We're in Texas. Texas, people. I actually really like Texas. Super open, super huge. Pause. Love the cities, love the food. But I hate the traffic. The traffic is just something that I'm not used to because I'm from a smaller city. But today's guest, oh my gosh, bro. We go way back to like the Ashton Meadow days. Yes. We used to play football all the time in the front yards. And, bus rides, track meets. We were always competitive, but I think we've always found a mutual respect for each other just because of how driven we were. He was actually the first person to get me to start my first waiter job at Beat Up. So like we worked together, and that taught me a lot as far as like saving and working in a fast environment, and it kind of built me up to have better character with talking to people in public and all other stuff. So today we have
Jamal.
Maul.
They call me Maul.
They call him Maul. Maul Fitness, if you will. But Jamal, tell them about yourself. Who are you? What do you do for people who don't know you?
So my name is Jamal. From Springfield, Ohio. Born and raised. What I do a lot of. I like to be active, so I like to train. I like to help other people, but through that is through a lot of training, a lot of nutritional guidance, things like that. Again, I'm from Ohio. Now I live in Texas. So
that's it. Okay, I just want to make sure. No, I mean I don't know because I feel like every time I ask that question, people like they always have a hard time like talking about themselves. I think it's just so funny.
Facts.
But we have Jamal here today. He's super nervous, people. He may not show it, but he is super nervous. So I'm going to, be more patient with him with like his answers and all that stuff. But for those who don't know, it is actually Jamal's wedding weekend.
Yes.
Came all the way down from Ohio to celebrate his wedding. So we're excited for that. That will be on Sunday. Mm-hmm. But yeah, if you're a new viewer, welcome. This is NOIZ.I Talks with Friends, your host, NOIZ.I TV. We do a series of questions that the interviewee has no idea what they are, just to have organic conversation. I don't think I have that many questions for you today, but there are some things I want to talk on. So I will ask the questions, and then we'll just piggyback wherever we're at. And then at the end, if you have any questions, which I hope you do, you can think throughout. I'll give you two at the end.
Okay. Two for me.
Yes, to ask you. Yep. All right. So, question number one. Jamal, are you ready?
Yes.
All right. Question number one. Where do I want to start? Okay. So you have a brother. You have a brother. You have a very cool brother, and I think that's something that a lot of people don't get to have is a sibling, especially like a brother relationship. So with all the battles, with all the discussions, with all the fights that you guys have been through, what does it mean to have a brother that is so close to you?
Man, I mean that's a loaded question. I would say
start anywhere.
Honestly, I mean having an older brother is like just a huge blessing. I'll never take it for granted. Especially growing up without much of a father figure, like he kind of took that role over in many different ways. And I think for me personally, having a brother, I mean, from a competitive standpoint, growing up playing sports, he always challenged me to be better. He always challenged me to do things out of my comfort zone. And I think that is super important in life in general. Without him, I wouldn't have taken certain leaps or certain chances on certain things. Let's see. But as far as another thing that really helped as having a brother is learning from his mistakes. And he'll be the first one to tell you. But I mean, everyone always talks about the good that comes from it. But honestly, the bad things that happen to him, for real, no, the bad things that happen to him, the mistakes that he makes. I mean, you're literally looking up to that. And you're literally seeing, I mean, as close as we are too, you're seeing that first-handed. So I think some of the things that maybe he's done that wasn't the best way of doing things, I've been able to kind of steer away from. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But additional to that, though, I make my own mistakes, and being able to come to him, and he's not judging me. It's more of a like he's gonna tell me as is, no matter
because either he has done it or like this is what you shouldn't do type.
Facts, just out of guidance. I feel like he's lived a crazy life. So many different things, different aspects, and just being able to go through life together with him has just been a tremendous blessing. So something I'll never take for granted.
And I think that's something that that is very interesting about like you guys' dynamic is like there are always brothers who are close, but you guys are like close, bro.
For sure.
And shout out to my sister who always says that she doesn't always say, but she said recently that I never bring up my little brother. But so if you guys did not know, I have a little brother.
His name is
wow. Okay, so public service announcement, people. I have a little brother. His name is Braylon. He actually stays in Texas. And that has been like super hard because like he stays with his stepmom, so like the relationship that she had with my dad, it's like very shaky per se. Right. So like the me visiting is kind of hard because like either I don't reach out enough or maybe it's like too sudden or whatever. But I understand that like if we don't see each other, it's because of the protection that she wants to have for her son, because how maybe he or my dad per se my dad kind of was like in and out of my life kind of. Right. She doesn't want that for her child, so I definitely get that. But so yes, I do have a little brother, and something that like I really wanted to talk about was how you say like you look up to him. Is there any chance that like he looks up to you and like what you do? Because there's stuff that my little brother does that I'm like, dang bro, you did this? He's like, yeah, like blah blah blah. I'm like, you're only like 14. how are you thinking this at this age? So for a person who looks up to his older brother, have you ever had an instance where your brother looks up to you?
Where I think absolutely. He's told me so many times that he's proud. And honestly, at this point of our life, we learn from each other. Like I obviously learned so much growing up, but I'm constantly being able to help him as far as the fitness standpoint or nutrition or things of that nature. So he definitely looks up to me with some of his weaknesses. I think a big thing about our relationship is we have different strengths. So something that I lack in, I'm able to go to him. I'm able to seek advice, seek counsel from him, and he helps me in those areas, but it's vice versa. And I think that's just from growing up at different times. I don't know what that is, but he definitely looks up to me in certain different aspects as well.
Yeah, I think that's a beautiful thing to have too, because like one thing I do wish is to be closer to my little brother, because like. This is no offense, mom, no offense, dad, but like because they're busy with life and whatever, I didn't get to have a lot of people who came to sporting events or like certain events or whatever. So like when you're out there and like you see all your friends' dads and all your friends' moms and all that stuff, and you're just like, man, like if I just had this extra push to see my family in the stands, Facts. I wonder what it could have been like for me. So I did say that this year, even though I do live in Ohio, I'll be here for like a couple of his games, because like he's actually playing baseball. They just beat some team 21-0 yesterday. Sheesh. I'm like, gosh, dang.
That's crazy.
I did say that I was going to be here for him for that, but also emotionally too, because like weirdly enough, he texted me 2 days ago out of nowhere, because like I don't know, but he texted me. He was like, hey, like we should do a podcast. I'm like. Like you mean like an interview? He's like, yeah, like I saw a clip of your thing on TikTok and I want to do one with you. I'm like, ugh, and that like kind of gave me goosebumps, because I'm like, I don't know if I'm not gonna say he doesn't understand, but I don't know if he's like ready to attack that at such an early age, because I didn't know a lot of the trauma that I carried from my parents or from family to now, and like I'm 25, so like a 14-year-old kind of being early and wanting to have that conversation, it means a lot. So like, when you share certain stories or mistakes or whatever with your brother, like how does that correlate to where you guys are now? Like when you guys talk about the trauma or whatever that you guys have been through, how does that in today's world?
For sure. And I'm laughing because me and my brother have this like unique relationship where we laugh at our trauma.
I do too, bro. Like you gotta make humor out of it somewhere because you don't want to cry,
bro. Like facts, like real facts. Like if something, tremendous, like really bad, horrendous had happened to us, like growing up, we can literally hop on the phone, make fun of each other for that, and get a laugh out of it. And I think honestly, the effect that has had on us today is just built our relationship. Just made us so much closer. He lives in Ohio and we talk every day, like on FaceTime. I see him every day. So having that time together, even if it's just on the phone, like seeing his face is something I look forward to. I look forward to hearing the good things that happen, the bad things, what he's frustrated about. And we're able to get a good laugh, whether that's good or bad. And I think that's something that I enjoy for sure.
Yeah, man. Like just to be able just to have a conversation with siblings in general is so important because it's just important because I could go deep into that, but we got to keep on the narrative of today. So going into question number 2. So this is going to be like a two-parter. So I don't know if I should ask you the whole question. We'll start with the first part. Okay, so your mother passed away. I don't want to say a few years ago, but she passed away quite some time.
About 3 years.
Jeez. Okay. So she passed away around that time, and how I viewed you was like a very toxic Jamal before she passed, with the relationships that you had with women or with all that stuff. So like now you're in a place where you're about to be married. So can you explain that transition from like you see the person that you, I don't want to say idolize, but you looked up to her, right, and you guys shared a lot, and then like even though you may have treated women however you treated, I'm not trying to make Jamal seem like a bad guy, first of all. Yeah. Like I'm putting in the narrative of like you had someone who was a woman figure in your life, and obviously your mom, and now that you have like a wife, like that transition from toxic Jamal to husband Jamal, like explain that transition throughout all that.
For sure. Some of that was just growing pains, man. Like I think, going back to, let me think about that. So growing up, I don't think I was thinking as far as long-term relationships.
No one was. So like, right. Yeah.
And I think I was just more in the moment back then. And a lot of that's just attributed to immaturity. Honestly.
That's facts. Yeah.
To be honest, I just don't think I was mature enough to realize, to care as much as about other people's feelings. Mm-hmm. And some of that was because I've been done bad too, to be honest. So but going back to your question, I think now after my mother passed, I just realized who I was, bro. Like I think I got away from who I was like before that happened. And like being in Springfield, I just didn't realize who I was truly deep inside. I think I was trying to act like someone else. And when my mom passed away, I feel like it was just a wake-up call in so many different areas.
Did that, and I feel like the reason why I asked about your mom specifically is like, did that change how you viewed women? Because you're like, man, if something can happen to a person that I believe is indestructible, how am I treating the people who are not even close to where she's at? That's what I'm like really trying to bridge the gap in.
I think so. I think obviously when something like that happens to someone like your mother, who's someone close or who's so close to you, and she's obviously a female, you start to look for certain traits like that in whoever you're looking to be with. So with my fiance now, I see a lot of my mother's traits and things in her. And I'm in a different stage. So I just feel like as you grow, you just realize what you want in life. And I think I don't know if I'm answering your question with this.
No, you are. But like, I'm not looking for like a specific answer. Like how you answer is how you answer it. But like, I think, have you actually had time to? Because I mean, obviously, it does seem like you're in a much more healed area in your life.
Oh yeah.
But have you had time to actually process
my
that?
mom?
Yeah. Because
that is a
you
good
guys
question.
were like that.
That's a good question, bro. Probably not as much as I should have. I'll be real. Like after my mom passed, I mean, the way I viewed it, I was like, why cry? Like, why sit here and mope?
Wow.
No, I was like, I cried, but like,
no,
why?
Yeah.
Why sit here and just be depressed? And I felt like, and I think some of this was toxic masculinity, of being like, I don't need to address my feelings.
Whoa. Like, okay.
Let me just put that to the side. I'm in school. Let me grind. Let me get through life. And then I think maybe last year or the year before, I mean, I started feeling deep sadness over the situation with my mom. And I knew for sure I needed to address it. Like, this is probably exactly a year ago. So that's when I started seeking counsel for it. And I think I'm definitely more healed about it now than I was probably, a few years back, or obviously is that right after it happened.
Was death common in your life?
No, bro.
So I think that's where I'm kind of getting like not even confused, but I'm trying to. It's nothing. I guess it's not for me to understand, but I want to see how that affected you, because I think for anyone, and I don't want to say as like I can tell you how to feel, but from a person who like loves his mom, adores his mom, obviously you did too, that would rip me apart. But like the first thing like you said was like like why cry, and I'm just like, why cry?
And that was a little tense, but I meant more.
Bro,
so,
don't sugarcoat.
No,
say it how you say it.
I meant more so like from the point is, bro, I was crushed. If I'm being 100% honest, I was crushed. Like I didn't leave the house for 2 weeks, bro. Like it was bad for a little bit, but I was, from more the standpoint, I was like, I had the mindset of life has to go on. Like I still gotta pay my bills, and I still gotta get through school. So I had the mindset of like, all right, Mo, like it happened. Let's just keep going.
Did you force yourself to ignore it?
Yes.
Jeez,
absolutely.
Bro, wow.
I definitely ignored it. I mean, it was something I didn't want to think about, bro. You know what I mean? And of course, you can't ignore it, but you can ignore your feelings about it, and you can kind of numb yourself. And I think it took a lot of self-healing and just a change in scenery to like realize that these are things that you gotta address. Like, you know what I mean? Like, no matter how much you want to put that in the past, no matter how much you want to act like you're good, like losing your mother is something that's gonna stick with, especially being close with her. It's gonna stick with you for the rest of your life. So, yeah.
I'm trying not to be emotional, bro, because I can't understand how you're able to move, bro. Like, and you're a strong individual, and I mean that sincerely, because
I appreciate that. And just to add on to that, I think now I have more of I tried, obviously it's a negative thing, right? But I try to see the positive out of it, right? Like I try to live my life to make her proud. I try to understand that, okay, maybe she's gone physically, but I still have conversations with my mom all the time.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
And like, it's just, I'm trying to do the right things to just make her proud.
Do you feel like that's still like you deflecting your own feelings though? Because it's like, how you said before, like, you just had to, you forced yourself to ignore it. And like, now you're saying that, with the positive mindset, like, okay, the positive thing is I still talk to her every day. She's still within me. I can still do these things for her. But is that still a way of you being like, well, let me stay away from these, maybe in your head, like negative, like negative feelings?
No, I think I've been able to really just try to get rid of the negative part. I mean, at some point, you do got to continue to live. And my mom would be like, "Bro,
what are you doing?"
Right?
Like,
Don't continue to soak over me, because that's gonna affect me negatively in the long run. So I mean, I just think I have conversations with her. I feel her spirit all the time, and with the things that I'm trying to do and trying to accomplish just a lot in life, I feel like I'm just looking to glorify her, and I feel at peace with it now. Of course, I still get sad. I mean, I'm about to get married, and she's not gonna be there, but at the same time, I know she's happy. I know she's looking down on me, like smiling. So when I think about those thoughts there, I'm happy. And at the end of the day, this world ain't for the weak. This is a rough world to live in. I think she's happier now than like being physically on this earth.
So with you saying that, like, your mom is still with you, you still talk to her every day, and you also mentioned how like you see the same qualities in your fiance currently.
Yeah.
How hard is it for her to kind of support you in that aspect, with especially with this date coming up, and like, you know, the trajectory of your life, because there are certain things that you want to, or that you wanted your mom to be there for, but now, as you know, the fiance, not saying that she would ever take her spot, but like she would have to support you in ways that, you know, that spot in your life can't. So do you think she understands like the severity of her being your wife and potentially having to be both supports at the same time? Does that make sense?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. You basically, okay, yeah, I think so. I mean, me and my wife have a lot in common. She lost one of her parents as well, and I mean that's something that we bonded over from the start. You know what I mean? And so we're able to really talk about those things and kind of understand each other's traumas. And at the end of the day, like, we're both very godly people, so just we're able to lean on God together and understand that, okay, those things happen, but you know, this is a new chapter. Like, we got each other to start a family eventually and really create a great narrative there, and you know, break any generational curses. So I think we have some excitement for the next chapter that's helping us just, you know, think positively. And yeah, I don't know if that answers your question.
Okay. It does. Okay, so we're going to switch narratives, people. I think that was all. I think that was question 2.
Yeah, that was 2.
Okay, so we are on question number 3, I believe. If I didn't say question 2, I apologize. I don't remember saying the number 2, but if I did, whatever. If I didn't, whatever. Question number 3. So you're in a different scenery. By the way, if you hear this like noise, it's the chair, people. I'm not farting. Jamal's not looking at me crazy. Like, it's the chair. But anyway, so you're in a different like scenery. You're in Dallas, far away from Ohio. With the friend group that you had, I don't know if you had the same one, but with the friend group that you had, how did that area in your life change to how you view yourself? Because a lot of people that I have conversations with now is like, you are who you hang around, and like for the longest time, I'm like, you guys are dumb. But then when I saw, like, you know, how content creation and podcasting and me wanting to go get my CDL license, like, that was serious for me. I couldn't apply those same things with the friends that I had because they were in a different area of their lives. Not saying that it was negative, but it's something I can't pursue with them. But like, now I'm in the area of my life where it's like, I feel if we're not on the same path as far as maybe career, I can't really associate myself with you because you're not understanding the bigger goal that I have in mind. Not saying that we shouldn't have acquaintances, we shouldn't have friends that we kick it with or whatever, but I think for people who are goal driven, it's kind of hard to balance both. Yeah. So from you going from Ohio to here and then seeing that Jamal, this Jamal, and all that stuff, like, has your friend group changed? How's your, like, explain that?
That's deep. That's a good question.
Appreciate it.
So, absolutely. Like, 100% you are who you hang around. It's inevitable. I mean, and from my time in Ohio, and by the way, I never regret anything about what I did in Ohio. That's why I am who I am today. I'm a completely different person, and a lot of that is because I'm very careful about who I'm around. Like, if you're not about positive energy, if you're not doing anything positive for this world, I really don't want to be around you, because I'm just trying to protect my peace. And additional to that, the saying is like, you should never be the smartest person in the room, right? It's because you just need, when you're around people who are smarter than you, who are better than you, you have no choice but to progress in life. You have no choice but to get better, or you're going to feel like you're getting left behind. So I think that's my motto, is I'm just trying to surround myself with big sharks and try to swim with them rather than sell myself short. And a lot of that is contributed to my fiance, because she drives me more than anyone else.
She, from what like I said, I've never met Kennedy. Yeah. I've never met Kennedy in my life ever, but like seeing how she is driven on, so I'd be like, she be driven on social media, bro. Like, go ahead. I'm sorry. I just want to say that.
No, for real. And it brings me back to something I read not that long ago, but it's about the importance of having an inner circle. Is like 5 of the people you hang around most should be people who are, impacting your life in a positive way in some way, whether that's spiritually, financially, goals, things like that. That is because they rub off on you the most, and you're the product of those people that you're around most.
How hard was it for you to dissociate yourself with the people who weren't where you're at now?
It wasn't hard, and
it wasn't hard. It's not hard for me either.
It's not, because
Interesting.
At the end of the day, like, back when I first started, you feel a little bad, but you start thinking about it and like, this is my life. You know what I mean? And if you're not trying to grow, if you're not trying to climb up, then that's on you. That's not how it has to be. But if you're not trying to grow with me, then why would I continue to stay on that level? Why would I stay on that playing field?
And that's funny too, because I was just having a conversation with my friend Third. And we were talking about, because like he was at my house because I was giving files, because he edits for me, and he got a call about something that happened between him and somebody. Who cares? And I was telling him after he got the call, I was like, why does that matter, bro? Like why does that matter in your life today? He was like, well, I can't have people thinking I'm this type of person. In my mind, like, if you guys knew me from Little Zion to now, I've never changed. My face, my character, my personality, it has never changed. Like, never. The only thing that I've grew up in is understanding sensitivity a little more. I'm still working through that, because like there are stuff that I think, if I think in my head, I have to say it. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, that dress is hideous. But like, I'm not thinking that person is like, whoa, I kind of look good in this dress, or I feel like I look good in this dress. Like there's certain things I have to work on as far as that. But with things in life where like people look at you a certain way, like if someone like, well, you don't look good in that, I don't care what you think. It's not, I'm not pleasing, my life isn't supposed to be pleasing for you, to you, near you at all. So I was telling them, like, to have things that you think that matter with your, like, with that area friend, you're not gonna, there's no way that we can grow as business partners. Because like, if you're gonna edit for me, I can't have you have all this backlash and you're posting all this crap on social media about this person is a bad business, this blah 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 blah. If we're business partners, you have to look just as professional as I do, because our image, because we're on screens or we're behind screens, or our names, whatever our names are attached to, they're gonna go right back to, dang, wasn't he working with? Dang, he was talking to. Dang, he's friends with. You know what I mean? And it's like, to Jamal's point, it's important to have an inner circle, which is, I only have probably 4 people, and that's not a bad thing, but it's just because I found comfortability in having conversations with them and understanding, like, this is where we have to be and this is where we want to be. Mm-hmm. And you can go ahead. I know you want to say something.
No, you're good. And on that, it's important for people to understand that just because we're not as close as we once were doesn't mean I don't like you, or doesn't mean that I can't talk to you.
I'm gonna have to challenge that, Jamal.
Really?
I'm gonna have to challenge that
because wait, let me
go ahead.
talk on that.
Yep.
There's people who I used to be cool with that I don't talk to, right? But if I see them in person, I'm gonna say what up. Like, I'm not gonna ignore you.
Oh, I'm still against you right now.
Because you're a part of my life.
I'm still against you though.
Okay, explain.
So because you said earlier how, like, you know, it's very easy for you to dissociate yourself. Like, I'm not the type of person, like, if I cut you off, I'm like, hey bro, what's up? Because I genuinely don't care for you to be in my life. It might seem messed up, but it's because of how I view my life right now. Like, if I don't believe that you are, you know, trying to create your relationship with God, or you're trying to be leaders, and you're trying to be, you know, good husbands, good whatever. I don't want to have that model or even think about that in my life at all. Like, so dissociating myself means that I'm completely separating my feelings, my stuff every day. That's how I look at it.
I think for me, it's the severity of it. Of course, now at my stage of life, I'm about to be a husband. I'm someone who's trying to level up. So, of course, I'm not about to kick it with someone who's single, living a single lifestyle. Do I view them as an enemy, or do I even view them as someone I don't like? Not necessarily.
No, right.
So if I do see them, I'm going to say, hey, but, like, I'm never about to kick it with them.
That's interesting, because I feel even me saying hey is an open door, and I don't believe in open doors.
And on that though, it's not hey randomly.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah, but like I'm just gonna ignore him. Like if I see him, I'm not gonna say anything.
That's cold turkey, but I respect that though.
Because like you said earlier as well, it's like, you know, and I was really big against this, like the whole protecting your peace thing, because I'm like, what does that even mean? Like, you know, protecting peace is so dumb, but it's because I didn't understand it. Because like, if you do have people who are in there like, hey, bruh, like boundaries. Boundaries. And that's something that I don't understand either. So like the balancing boundaries and protecting your peace is like, even if I did, or if I was like best friends, or if I knew them at this time, I don't want to have that door open, because in my life right now, this is what it is, and this is how serious I am about it. With Jamal, it is very cool to see him going to be married. Like, the transitions of life that we have seen each other in is crazy. It's crazy, bro.
Absolutely.
And to see him about to have another chapter in his life is like, wow. But it's also inspiring, because it's, you know, something that I've said a lot more recently, and I keep saying it out loud, is like, I really do want to get married like the next like 3 to 4 years. But how I get there is how I change this first, because I'm not gonna lie, like, I do believe that I still am a selfish person. Like, it's very hard to break that narrative in your mind of, okay, there's a person that you may be interested in, she's interested into you too, and you guys have to compromise. And I'm just like, why do I have to do that? Because you like me and I like you, I don't want to do that. So to see friends and certain family members who are married, who have like a good, healthy relationship with their partner, it's very important for me to look at that, because I get to share with my close friends. But wrapping around to inner circle is like, if we can't have the same values or share the same whatever, how are you going to be these leaders, these husbands, these fathers to the people that we are supposed to protect? You know what I mean? So if you want to add on to that.
Yeah, and I think it's important to have non-negotiables when it comes to having people in your life. Like,
talk about it.
One of my non-negotiables is, I'm not about to, this is where I wouldn't say hey to anyone. If someone's like discrediting God,
come on. It's
okay to have different belief systems. That's okay.
Yes.
But to discredit my Lord, my God, who has got me, like we talked about earlier, gotten me through so much, I think that that's something I take very serious, and that's when I would have to like completely cut someone off. So that does come with certain things, and that's like an example of a non-negotiable. Or another non-negotiable now would be someone who is cheating on their girlfriend or something. I'm not kicking it with anyone who has that type of vibe in their life. You know what I mean? Like, I'm at a different stage where I want to feed myself with just true positivity and have, Christian like men just pouring into me. So
I do want to ask you something, like a challenging question, is how do you view prayer? And I want you to think about that for a second, just because this is my answer, just because this is what I believe. I'm gonna say I hope I am going to challenge myself to start reading the Bible more regularly, because I used to have like the YouVersion app, and YouVersion, they be forcing like, hey bro, did you wake up? And I'm like, all right, okay, I get it, it is serious, you're right, but come on now. So I do want to challenge myself to kind of start from reading the Bible from the beginning. Yeah. But like the more I start thinking about prayer, I think prayer sometimes questions faith. Hear me out. So when I think of prayer, like, I think prayer should automatically always be, God, thank you. God, you are. God, X, Y, and Z. But to me, how people use prayer is, God, can I? God, remember when? God, it's always asking God. If you know, as believers who believe in God and Christ, why do we automatically ask God if we know that He's all knowing, He's all love, He's all this stuff? How do you view prayer? How do you view prayer?
Okay, I'll answer this in two parts. Is that cool?
Bruh, go ahead.
Okay. First of all, prayer is something that I used to struggle at. Like, I used to just not do it. And it was from a discipline standpoint. I just wasn't disciplined enough to just remember to do it every day. I do it every night now. And the reason why I think it's so important is God is your father. Like, he created you to be who you are. And He wants to hear from you, point blank, period. And whether that
gave me emotional. Wow,
yeah,
bro. Wow,
I mean,
He wants to hear from you. Oh my gosh.
Whether that's the trials and tribulations, or whether that's when you're at the top of your life, you should still talk to Him. And I think it was interesting that you said, why ask? But the Bible says, ask and you shall receive. So that's just being that's just obeying God. Like, he tells you to do that in the Bible.
I feel like we have to look at that in context. I gotta bring out the phone. I'm sorry, because sure. I'm a context person.
Please.
Ask and ye shall receive. Scripture. Okay, ask it and it will be given to you. Seek ye. Okay, I'm sorry. So this is Matthew 7 through 8. Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock on the door, it will be open to you. For everyone who asks receives. The one who seeks finds, and the one who knocks, the door will be opened. Okay, I understand it. Oh, yeah. I understand it. But this to me is saying basically walk by faith and not by sight. So even if it does say ask and shall receive, like it's to me it's also saying like you should already know. Like, I don't know. Am I stretching that?
Saying. No, I see what you're saying. I do see what
I hear you. What we say. I hear what you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
Faith is important, of course.
Right.
I mean, I think I heard something a few years ago that really helped me have a different outlook on faith. It's like when you're going through something, they say worry is worshiping the devil's plan. So when if you're worrying, you're worshiping the devil's plan. Okay. That is a lack of faith, because you're showing no faith in God if you're worrying about a lot of stuff going on. Now, just because I have faith don't mean I'm not going to talk to you, God, and ask for something. Like, you're my father, you control everything. So why wouldn't I come to you and ask you?
Is asking not worrying though?
No, it's different.
Give me. You
can still have faith and you can still ask.
Give me an example.
I believe. I'm just
give me one example.
Someone's struggling to pay their bills, right? And they're soaking all day. They're chilling. They're chilling on the couch, just sad, worrying. I feel like that's a lack of faith. I feel like if you're still upbeat, you're still going about your life, you're still spreading the word.
So you're saying if I'm positive and I'm asking God, it's not a lack of faith,
right? And of course, you're not just asking God. You pray. You might throw a question in there.
But you see what I'm saying though?
You're still thanking Him. Like, it's not just you asking. I mean, of course, when I pray, I'm thanking God for what He's given me. You know what I mean? I'm not focused on what I don't have. I'm focused on what I do have. But if I'm going through something that I would like to pray through, I will ask him for that. And I try to not be materialistic with this.
No, yeah.
This is more so, yeah.
So I'm going off of the basis of the two things that you said. You said worrying is a lack of faith.
It is.
But on the flip side, if you're positive and basically say if you're positive, it's not a lack of faith. That's what you basically said.
Yeah, if you're not, it's basically if you're worrying about something, then it's a lack of faith because you're worrying, you're worshiping the plan of the enemy. But if
so what is asking then?
I feel like that's completely different.
You think asking and worrying
different because you don't just because you're asking about something, that doesn't mean you're necessarily worried, but you're just asking for a solution. You're asking God, provide me a solution, provide me a solution. It doesn't have to be necessarily, hey, solve this. But give me the power to get through this. Give me the faith to help me with my faith. Things like that. It's not necessarily, hey,
that makes sense.
$2,000 tomorrow.
Right. Yeah, because I think like when I'm looking at it that aspect, it's like you're basically saying because how else do you know God if you're not asking questions? Yeah, that's what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you should talk to God about everything. Whether that's the best things in life or the things that you are upset about, or you. I mean, it's inevitable to worry sometimes. So, I think He will provide solutions in any way. And those solutions might come in adversity. It might come with something that's not glamorous to the eye, but I mean, through everything that you kind of battle through, you gain skills from. You gain wisdom.
So, people, we are at the end of the episode. This was a great episode, bruh. I think, especially for someone who is still learning his faith, Zion,
and me,
I'm really challenging myself to be around believers because it's one thing to want to live that lifestyle, but then it's another to see it. So to see someone who is actively, doing it is a lot easier for me to be like, hey, bruh, I'm reading this Bible verse and I don't understand it. So like, thank you, Jamal. But yeah, those are all the questions that I have today. So this is the time where I let the interviewee ask me a question. So if you have any questions, you can ask me, and this will be edited out if you don't have any. So you can let me know.
Okay.
Take your time.
You talked to me earlier.
I'm sorry, I wasn't ready. Go ahead.
About marriage. And
hit me with it.
I know you want to get married.
Yep.
But you said something where you feel selfish.
Mm-hmm.
Are you willing to?
Go ahead.
Are you willing to seek on how to develop better in that area of your life? And don't you think whoever that you choose to get married to will motivate you to do so?
This is a phenomenal question. I'm going to answer the Zion way, and I'm going to answer the political way.
Okay.
Zion way is going to tell you no, like right off the bat, just because something you said earlier was you never want to be the smartest person in the room, and like I automatically was like, why? like I feel like because I've been in places where I feel like I had to be because of stuff like certain people have different statuses or certain people have different accolades or whatever. But I'm like, even though you have those things attached to your name on paper, I can still say the same language you can just without the accolades. So like when I think of like the smartest person in the room, I do think of myself a lot. But when it comes to relationships in specific, it's like, why are you selfish? So then I think about I haven't been by myself a lot, but because of what I felt what I wanted my lifestyle to be, I created that mindset, if that makes sense. So because I was like, okay, I want to be a person who does content creation, who comes home rarely, who goes travel, blah, blah, blah. But then it's like, when you want a partner, how is that gonna balance? Are you just gonna keep leaving your partner? Are you gonna just keep denying the fact that she feels this way when you leave? Are you gonna ignore her feelings when she's sad? Are you gonna be there? Like, so then that kind of was like, you know, a balance that I'm working through. And then when I had a lot of women that I were like, you know, in the past with, a few of them said that I wasn't a manly man. Hear me out, people. That broke me, because I'm like, what in the F do you mean I'm not a manly man? And they were like, you know, if something were to ever go down, I don't think you would protect me. And I'm like, it's crazy, because like Jamal's laughing because like he knows who I am. So like when I hear that, I'm like, you have me messed up. But then the flip side is that is her idea of protection. So then I took a huge step back, or that was their idea, I should say. That was their idea of protection. So then I took a step back, and I was like, protection doesn't have to be that all the time. Like, yeah, your instincts are going to kick in when you're around certain areas, but I feel like a lot of women who want, don't attack me, women, a lot of women who want that are toxic, because a lot of men who could protect you don't know your mind, don't know your heart, don't know anything else. Like, how are they protecting those areas? Which is where I come in. So like the whole being selfish comes from, why do I have to compromise? But then that is the whole destruction of why I feel like relationships just aren't my life right now. Did I answer your question?
You did.
Okay.
You did. Am I allowed to keep going on this?
Whatever you want to do.
Question.
Answer.
So you mentioned something in there that was interesting. You were like, you know, obviously, what if you want to do content creation, you got to leave and something like that, and your wife is sad. But what if it's the other way around? What if you're sad? Wouldn't you want her to comfort you? Because, listen, you're not going to be 100% every time.
I'm trying to understand where you're coming from. So are you saying like if I'm a content creator, or yeah, you're saying if I'm a content creator,
if you're busy,
just in general.
Yeah.
Okay, I hear you. Go ahead.
Because something about relationships that I figured out is you're not going to be at 100% every day, and your partner's not going to be at 100% every day. There's going to be days where you're at 20% and she has to pick up 80. There's going to be days when she's at 30% and you got to pick up 70. So I think those days where you're at 30%, wouldn't you expect her to pick up the slack and help you through those areas?
Isn't that crazy? I would have to say no, but it's only because I'm not good in that mind. I'm not good in that aspect. Like, I can't. People always ask me what are your love languages, and I automatically I'm like, I don't have one. But I recently found out, just because of me being on the truck a lot, is physical touch. I'm like, dang, I don't know what it's like to get a hug anymore. People so with that, it was like, man, like, I understand, you know, physical touch is a love language. So like when I think of if I'm 30 or she's 70, like, you know, do I expect her, blah blah blah, I feel like I wouldn't, because I feel like my happiness isn't on her. No matter what she does, she could be a phenomenal wife, but she can't make me happy 24/7. There's things in life that I aspire, that I want to do, that makes me happy. She's not the full thing. But then again, I can't say that, because I've been in a situation or in a relationship that person wasn't happy, and I blamed that person the entire time. And I didn't know that I was a problem until after the fact. So I was looking at it, I was like, yeah, you're just sensitive. And I was like, wait a second, I did that to you for real? Wait a second, I said that honestly?
For sure.
So like, me being insensitive, it made me selfish, because I didn't understand. So with what you're saying, in my current life, I don't expect it, because I've purposely been by myself for a long time.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's all I got with that.
Okay.
If you want to keep going, bro. Challenge. If you don't, it don't matter.
I'll challenge it just a tiny bit.
Oh crap. Okay.
I just feel like it takes a certain person to realize that.
I hate that. That's cliche, but it's so true.
I think it takes a certain person for you to get better at your inefficiencies, right? Like, you feel like that now.
Yeah.
You feel like that now.
Yeah.
But I think as you continue to grow and as you continue to meet, you know, certain people, there's gonna be that one person you're like, I wouldn't mind being a little bit less selfish.
right. You know what
I mean? So that's my opinion, but I respect that.
Yeah, because and I want to say this real quick before we leave, because I think something that I've sadly gotten worse with is understanding people's feelings. So because I'm on the truck by myself 24/7, I don't interact anymore. Like I used to be around people like a lot, but like now that I'm on the road by myself, I don't understand people's like emotions. So like so I bring up my sister being pregnant recently a lot because I was offended because like I told her, well, we told each other like, you know, we're never gonna have kids, blah blah blah, and I just having a kid. I'm like, you selfish bastard, and like it got me hot. But then I'm like, why am I telling my sister that her child is a negative thing? Like, who am I? That is her kid. Who am I as her bro? I'm acting like I had the kid, like I'm pregnant. Like, who am I to tell my sister that she should feel some type of way because she's having a kid? She is 30 years old. What am I? Who am I to say anything to my sister about that? So I'm saying that publicly to say, sister, I am genuinely sorry for putting my feelings into that, because if I had a partner and we came up with a baby, and you know she was like, you know, I want to keep it, would I react the same? Right now, I probably would, because I'm selfish. But if I'm doing that to my sister, I can't imagine what I'm doing to my partner right now. Right. Which is why I'm like I'm still reflecting. Like I've matured a lot more this year, understanding why I did the things I did and how I'm doing them. But like now it's like I'm working through stopping that.
That's good.
All right, guys, it's been another episode of NOIZ.I Talks with Friends. Yeah, because I feel like I could have went even further, but I'm not gonna do that because this will be a 3-hour episode. But I want to thank you guys for sitting here today with me, my friend. Please, I'm gonna put his socials down below. Do you have a personal fitness page, or do you have a?
Yeah, that's just my page.
Okay,
yeah.
So I'll put his fitness page down below, and please follow him. Wish him good luck on his marriage. But yeah, guys, it is your episode. Wow, your episode 41. This is amazing. So thank you guys for being here today. It is NOIZ.I and
Jamal,
and we are out.